Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hey everybody, got this video I want you to watch, and then we'll discuss it after.
Folks, a lawyer by the name of Roy Black, who helped secure Jeffrey Epstein's controversial 2008 plea deal with the United States Attorney Alex Acosta, has just died. He died at the age of 80 in Coral Gables, Florida, so he was 80 years old. But Epstein's lawyer dying right now, and granted, he was 80, but let's just follow the facts about what else has happened in the past 24 hours. And I'm not just getting conspiratorial here. Here are the things that happened. Epstein's lawyer has just died, number one. Number two, the House of Representatives issued a subpoena, despite MAGA Mike Johnson trying to block it. They issued a subpoena to have Ghislaine Maxwell be deposed in the House of Representatives. MAGA Mike Johnson then threw the House into recess, said, go home. We're shutting down the business of Congress right now to give Donald Trump the time and space to deal with Ghislaine Maxwell and the Jeffrey Epstein files. Donald Trump orders his Department of Justice head, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, now the Deputy Attorney General. He orders them to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. They post public messages saying they will be meeting directly, Trump's AG and Trump's deputy AG meeting directly with Ghislaine Maxwell right now. And that also follows Donald Trump firing the lead prosecutor in Ghislaine Maxwell's case and in Epstein's case, Maureen Comey, who Donald Trump blamed Maureen Comey's dad as the perpetrator of what Donald Trump's been calling the Epstein hoax. And now Epstein's lawyer just died. Again, at the age of 80, could have absolutely nothing to do with all of the facts that I just said. I want to be clear about that. But Roy Black, the famed defense attorney for Rush Limbaugh, Epstein, and others, dies after his career. Just a reminder for you about the deal and about the situation. Here was a kind of a little bit of a recap of what happened over here. Let's just play this video.
The women were not consulted or allowed to weigh in on that decision, and their attorneys argue that's a violation of the Crime Victims' Right Act of 2004, pardon me. Now, Epstein's attorney, the well-known Roy Black, appeared in court, and he said the written negotiations between Epstein and the prosecution that resulted in that no charge should not be made public in this civil rights violation case.
We are here because these are important issues for the client, and I don't mean to make light of that, but these are important issues, both for crime victims, for defendants, for defense lawyers, for prosecutors. These are important things that the courts are going to have to wrestle with. Congress passed the statutes that have to be followed, and the court now is going to have to determine what are the contours of that.
And what we really want is for the victims to have fair rights in court. Everybody's always catering to the defendant, and before the defendant gets a sweetheart deal, maybe we can prevent some of that if the victims were given the rights that the legislature says they deserve.
Now, yesterday, Donald Trump, in an Oval Office press conference with the president of the Philippines, was asked some questions about Epstein. Donald Trump responded saying, I don't really follow that too much. The real hoax you all need to focus on, he goes, is Obama. Obama's responsible, Trump says, for something that Trump refers to as Russia, Russia, Russia. He goes, Russia, Russia, Russia. There was a Russia coup, a Russia coup. Dude, what the hell are you even talking about? We know you love Vladimir Putin right now. We heard you back in first of all, why are you whining about 2016, you freaking baby? Number two, we heard you back then say, Russia, if you're listening, find the emails. We heard you say that. And all of your actions since then, I don't even need to look at the secret files and the dossiers. I don't give a crap about that. I watch what you do in public. I can see what you do in public. So here's what Donald Trump said there. Let's play it.
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that.
Okay. Now, Donald Trump also, in this bizarre Oval Office press conference with the leader of Philippines. By the way, the leader of Philippines is the son of the dictator from 1972 to 1981 who killed and disappeared thousands of people from the Philippines. And by the way, Donald Trump's like, great family you come from. Big fan of your dad, like big fan of your family. By the way, as the current president tried to distance himself from that, I'll just say that. But here Donald Trump then says, we found absolute proof, better than absolute proof, that Obama is a criminal. And this is what you need to focus on. Obama did it. Hillary Clinton did what? What are you talking about? Like, for real, are you that desperate? As we wrote on the Midas Touch account, whatever is in those Epstein files about Trump must be absolutely horrific. Here, play this clip.
But what we found is even more so. Now, we found absolute, this isn't like evidence this is like proof, irrefutable proof that Obama was seditious, that Obama was trying to lead a coup. And it was with Hillary Clinton, with all these other people, but Obama headed it up. And, I get a kick when I hear everyone talks about people I never even heard of. It was this one. No, it was Obama. He headed it up. And it says so right in the papers. Got everything. This is the biggest scandal in the history of our country. And it really goes on to even the auto pen, because it all relates to the same thing. It all started the same sick minds. You have an auto pen, which is a tremendous, well, we don't have a president. We have an auto pen that signs everything. I'll bet you sign everything. You don't have auto pens.
But here's the thing. Regardless of whatever is in the Epstein files, right? We know from what's been released, it's absolutely horrifying. The facts that are out there already are as damaging and as devastating as you can be. As I've said, if you have a pie graph and there's 100% in the pie, if 10% of the Epstein files have been released thus far in civil and criminal and administrative and other actions like that, Donald Trump's name appears all over the existing files, and not in innocuous ways, in very dangerous and devastating ways. For example, a civil case involving a 14-year-old girl says she was brought to Mar-a-Lago by Epstein and Ghislaine. Epstein shows her off to Donald Trump and says, what do you think about this one? She was a Jane Doe, another 14-year-old. It may have been the same 14-year-old Jane Doe in the criminal case involving Ghislaine Maxwell, said she was brought to Mar-a-Lago and showed to Donald Trump. Maria Farmer, who was a victim sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein. She says she was in Epstein's office. Donald Trump walks into the office. Donald Trump looks her up and down while she's in gym clothes. And then Donald Trump looks at her and Epstein goes, no, that's not the one for you. Go into the other room. Go into the other office room. She said she observed that. As I mentioned, Virginia Giuffre, underage girl, towel girl. She's since died by suicide. She worked at Mar-a-Lago's spa as a towel girl. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein lived down the block. They would walk over and then they found her as the towel girl, underage, who was previously homeless before getting this job in Mar-a-Lago. That was Epstein's MO, preying on destitute and homeless little girls. Found her and then sex trafficked her. I've showed you articles from 1997, the Sunday Mirror in the United Kingdom, which talked about how Ghislaine Maxwell would present young girls and young women to Donald Trump. And they called her Madame Maxwell in 1997. I mean, you have Donald Trump all over Epstein's flight log. Epstein was on Trump's planes. We know from Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, that Donald Trump and Epstein were close friends, and Trump was at Epstein's office frequently. We know from Epstein's potential biographer, Michael Wolff, that Epstein said that he and Trump were best of friends. Wolff says that he saw photographs of Donald Trump with a stain on his crotch with naked girls of indeterminate age on his lap. He said Epstein showed him those photos. I mean, what's out there? Oh, we know, for example, that Donald Trump and Epstein would throw parties at Mar-a-Lago where they would just bring in like 30 girls from the pageants that Trump would throw just for those two. I've showed you unearthed video of some of those pageants. I've showed you unearthed video of a guy named Uncle Luke from the band 2 Live crew who went to one of these parties, him, Eddie Murphy, and Mike Tyson. And he said, Uncle Luke, by the way, who would like go to crazy parties in the 1990s and 2 Live crew. He said this was too depraved for him and he saw underage girls. And he said it looked like the Tom Cruise movie Eyes Wide Shut, he said. So he had to just leave and get out of it. So what we know is pretty freaking damaging. Just think about what I just told you. That's what's out there. Oh, and Donald Trump's Doe 174. Think about what's not out there yet. There's 300 gigabytes. So just release the files. Yeah, Pam Bondi says, I have communicated her directly with counsel for Maxwell to determine whether she would be willing to speak. I anticipate meeting with Miss Maxwell in the coming days. Why the hell is our attorney general meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell? and why the hell is Congress shutting down business to cover this up for Donald Trump? Here we have Democratic Congress member Garcia, Robert Garcia. He's the new ranking member of the Oversight Committee for the Dems. And he says, we're going to keep on talking about the Epstein files forever. We're not done talking about this until they gets released. Play this clip.
He's hoping, I guess, that he will outlast everyone through August. Do you think he can?
Absolutely not. In fact, we're going to keep talking about the Epstein files until Donald Trump releases them. What's happening right now is the American public are seeing that Donald Trump has betrayed them. He's broken their trust. He ran on the Epstein files, the key part of his campaign. The MAGA world did as well. His family talked about it constantly. Don Jr. tweeted about it dozens of times. They have been focused on the release to the public and to build goodwill among his base. He is now completely reversed on that. And if Donald Trump or Mike Johnson think Democrats are just going to roll over and allow that to happen, they are highly mistaken.
And here's Congressmember Garcia again, Democrat, saying, also with the Epstein files and the way Donald Trump has handled this and the cover-up is a lens into Donald Trump covering up everything else as well. Play it.
Democrats, yes, we need to focus on health care. Yes, we need to focus on tax breaks for the rich, which we oppose. But this is about corruption. At the end of the day, this leans into Americans understanding that Donald Trump is corrupt. He's not for you. He will lie to you. He will betray you. And he's only in it to save himself. And that's what this moment's about.
All right. Well, now we also see from CNN, they got more exclusive video footage and photos of Donald Trump partying with Epstein. Lots of new footage there. I'll do a whole video as well on how Ghislaine Maxwell fears for her life. I'll talk about some of the new video footage of Donald Trump partying with Epstein that CNN got their hands on. But you take a look at the polling data right now on Donald Trump. The latest YouGov poll has Donald Trump's unfavorables with 18 to 29-year-olds. Get this, at 70%. Only 30% of 18 to 29-year-olds have a favorable view of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's overall unfavorability is 56%. If you look at the YouGov graph on the way the American people view Donald Trump's handling of inflation, which is net negative 29%. I mean, a massive negative approval when it comes to Trump's handling of inflation. It literally looks like a Melania meme coin, like just a complete crash. And by the way, even among white Americans, Donald Trump was previously at 61% approve amongst white Americans. And now as of July 18, 2025, amongst white Americans, which was his core base, I suppose, although that's crazy to me. That shouldn't be that crazy to me, actually, knowing. But it's only 50% approve, 50% disapprove. Among moderates, 66% disapprove. And I mean, just look at how phony and vile he is. Right, he gave this speech yesterday in front of the Republican congressional delegation after they shut down Congress. And Trump's like, here's what we're doing for prescription drug prices. Here's what you got to tell the American people. Ready? Are you ready? We're lowering prices 1,000%, 600%, 1,500%, 500%, numbers that aren't even conceivable. They're not conceivable because the furthest they can go down is 100%. That would make it $0. You don't understand the concept of numbers. Here, play this clip.
And this is for the people in this room, because this is something that nobody else can do. We're going to get the drug prices down, not 30 or 40%, which would be great, not 50 or 60. No, we're going to get them down 1,000%, 600%, 500%, 1,500%, numbers that are not even thought to be achievable because I've used a certain talent that I have and convinced the drug companies that you have no choice.
I mean, how is that not disqualifying right here? Oh, and then Donald Trump says at that meeting with the congressional Republicans, he goes, every time that Democrats or reporters or your constituents, if they talk about the other topic, meaning Epstein, you need to just say Obama. Just say Obama. Blame Obama and accuse Obama of a crime. Here he is saying it in his own words. Let's play it.
Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So, and you should mention that every time they give you a question that's not appropriate, just say, oh, by the way, Obama cheated on the election. You'll watch the camera turn off instantly.
And finally, we see this report out from Goldman Sachs, how the U.S. economy is headed into a period of noticeably slower growth as a result of the tariff impact on inflation and consumer spending now going down. And we see, as I've said, all of these landmines right now across the United States economy, each one that could explode and have a cascading effect. Oh, I should mention this before I go. Former President Obama issued a response to Donald Trump calling for Obama's arrest and calling Obama treasonous for some made-up story from 2016. Here's what Obama says. Out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with the response, but these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee led by then Chairman Marco Rubio. Statement from the office of former President Obama. Rubio justified those findings. But the one part where I have to say I disagree with Obama is where he goes, because Donald Trump has a constant flow of misinformation, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense. I think you have to respond to it. It doesn't mean you're dignifying it. I think every time Trump says it, you got to be out there. And personally, I would like to see former President Obama out there more, pushing back against Donald Trump, because every time he does it so effectively. But if you don't respond to the constant stream of misinformation, it ends up becoming the reality, even though it's false, based on the way our corporate news is here in the United States. So you have to come out. You have to be on the offense 24/7. You have to push back. You can't just show up anymore the way Obama does, in my opinion, respectfully. October before an election, he gives the best speeches, or the occasional speech that he'll give right now at a university. Those are great, but you can't just do 2 of them in 6 months or wait till the election year. And I get it. He's a former president. He's got, most former presidents just kind of exit and sail into the sunset and live lives quiet, but show up at major. I just think we're in different times personally. And I say that I'm a big Obama fan. I just think we need to see more of him, is my own view. Tell me what you think in the comments below as well. Hit subscribe. Let's get to.
Do I think Obama should respond to every single thing Trump utters? No, I don't. I think what Obama should do is every time, Trump opens his yap or says something, call a press conference and say, I have some important information about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. That's what Obama needs to do. You want to fight fire with fire. Every time Obama does that, every time Obama will do that in response to some allegation that Trump is uttering, then you come out with another Epstein update thing with your press corps. Hey, Trump was doing the same thing when Joe Biden was president, okay? He always had the press's ear. Every time something would go on that didn't look good for Trump, he'd call a press conference. And the media would run like fucking apes over there to cover his mouth. Now it's Obama's turn. He can do this. All right? And that's what you do to fight that. Yeah, the days of a president going into retirement after, those days are gone, okay? Because we've ruined politics in this country so bad that a person cannot retire from being president, okay? Trump has made that impossible from now on now, because he wouldn't go away quietly when he lost. No, he stayed on this fucking trope of, oh, they cheated me, I won this thing, and he did that for years, okay, until he got his presidency back, all right? So the days of a president going quietly into the night are gone. That's never going to happen. So we still have Obama, we still have Clinton, we still have Bush, we still have all these other former presidents around. They might as well come out of retirement and start, you know, if they want to push back on Trump, to start doing so. Because Trump sure as hell ain't gonna let up. Like he said, anytime somebody asks a question about Epstein, you bring up Obama. Okay, even though they've got zero fucking facts to back up their accusation about this supposed attempt at stealing an election. Okay, they've got no proof. If they had it, believe me, we would have heard about this way back. Okay, we would have heard about this way back. All right, if there was anything like that going on, but there wasn't. Okay, there wasn't. And we certainly have a lot of suspicion to think that Trump might have meddled in this last election to win. But do you see the Democrats out there saying, oh, well, we got, you know, some proof that shows this and that, and yeah, you know, and only something that they see, nobody else has seen it, okay? Trump is going around doing that. He's sitting there talking about evidence that nobody's ever seen, okay? That's never been reported by anybody, Fox News or the regular media. No one said anything about the stuff that he's going around saying is there, okay? And certainly, that being said, and we know Trump is a capital liar, why should we take his word for it? Why don't he, you know, if he's got evidence, let's see the fucking evidence. Don't just hear it from the fucking horse's mouth, okay? Let's see the goddamn proof. You cried wolf so much now, you're going to have to show us proof. The Epstein stuff, there is proof. And we've been seeing it almost every night on TV, the pictures, the videos, the letters, okay? We've been seeing all this stuff. That's proof, that's evidence. And this fact, this idea that they're going to talk to Ghislaine here, you know, outside of the public eye, what's that? Voter, you know, intimidation? They're intimidating her or something? Telling her, you keep your fucking mouth shut, or you're going to end up like that lawyer that just died here that's 80 years. You know what I'm saying? Anything could be going on, because Trump is not a trustworthy person. He's got a bad fucking rap, you know, or a bad reputation. You know, when you got a guy like that sitting as president, anything is possible. Anything becomes possible. Even the most ridiculous, outlandish things suddenly become the truth, because this is a guy that will pull no punches. He will come out with everything he's got. And right now, with him going around saying all this stuff, making up these things about Obama, you know he's in a lot of trouble, okay? The more he cries about this and bitches, Obama this, Obama that, Russia, okay? The more he does that, that's so telling. That's like somebody saying, don't look behind me. Stop that. Don't look over there. You know, that's a guilty conscience. He knows that they're getting close. They're getting close to what he's hiding. And that's scaring the hell out of him. So he's coming up with all kinds of things, whether the people around him want him to do this or not. He's doing it. He's putting his mouth out there. Everybody like Pam Bondi and KK, Carolyn Leavitt there, they're like, they're just kind of standing in the background and letting Trump say these things, okay? And they know better than anybody how much of what he's saying is actually true or not true, okay? Which is probably all of it. But they're not going to stop him, because they know what he's like. If you try to get in front of him, between him and the camera, because that's his weapon, is to weaponize the press. That's his way of getting things, getting things done his way. And if they try to step in there and say, look, if you say that, it's actionable, if you can't prove it, hey, he don't care. And so, everybody else is kind of just, not stopping him. So, like I said, Obama should retaliate by coming out with more Epstein stuff. Okay. And just, because the public is not really interested in this other shit that he's coming up with. These other distractions about, oh, I'm releasing more JFK stuff, or I'm releasing information on Martin Luther King's assassination, Obama cheated. All these things we already know are a distraction. And why? Because we've had this guy in our life for so long now. We know this man better than we did when he first got his fat ass on the TV there when he was coming down that escalator. Okay? We know him much better now. So a good majority of this country knows that he's a grifter. Okay? And he depends on people being suckers to believe everything he says. But he's used that fucking card too many times in this deck. Okay? He talks about, you don't have the cards. Well, he's got cards. And they're pretty well used. You know what I'm saying? So we know what he's got in his hand, and we know what he's going to try next. He can't dodge this fucking problem, like Ben Mysalis had said in another video. The victims of his sexcapades there with Jeffrey Epstein are legion. They're all over the fucking place. And the fact that so many of them are not coming out and saying anything goes to show you that, he's got them scared. And if that's the case, then we know he's not a person who would shy away from threatening somebody, especially Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm sure that's what this is all about. Oh, let's shut down Congress and not do anything. This is all about trying to avoid a fucking wildfire from starting, to give Trump time to manipulate things behind the scenes. That's so guilty looking. I mean, I don't know how the hell anybody cannot think that, oh, Jesus Christ. If it was anybody else doing this, if it wasn't the president, if it was somebody else, people would be saying, this fucking guy is guilty. 100% everybody thinks the guy's guilty. All right? And it's so obvious that he is. But because it's Trump, it's a political thing, and he's the president, okay, there's going to be those walls that we have to tear down first in order for the public to finally jump on this bandwagon and say, yeah, this guy's got to go. He's crooked, as a dog's hind leg. He's got no moral character. He's got no character at all. He's just a liar, and he pretends to be a human being, but he's not very good at that. And this is a guy who thinks it's okay to molest little girls. What was it he said? Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on it. He can't even get it straight in his own fucking head. He's done it so much, it's normal to him to go after a 14 or 13-year-old girl or something like that. It's normal for him to do those kind of things because he's done it so fucking much and got away with it. It's sort of like breathing. He has no moral compass. There's nothing that says, Donald, don't do this, you're going to get in trouble. That's gone in his fucking mind. There's no wall there because he's so wealthy, he can avoid a lot of this repercussions here if he ever got caught. And he thinks that should even be more so because he's president. But what he doesn't understand is that the presidency is the most criticized office of the land. He'd have been better off just staying a businessman ahead of a business company and doing what he was doing and getting away with it. But he puts himself in the fucking White House. Well, now you got 10 times the spotlight on you that you didn't have before. People are going to be scrutinizing every fucking thing you do. You let a fart out in that fucking White House, it's going to go around the country 3-4 different times, okay, before people will forget about it. This Epstein stuff may have been a passing thing when you was running for president because people didn't expect you to win, but now that you've won and you're back in the White House, now that's going to take another second, third, and fourth look by the public because now you put yourself out there to be criticized, which you can't stand because you got rid of Stephen Colbert. You didn't like him on TV. Who's next? But you didn't like being scrutinized. But you should have known that that's what happens when you become president. You should have learned that the first time you were president. Donald, Jesus. You were criticized then too. you know? But you put yourself right back out there again. Maybe it wasn't so bad for you the first time around because you weren't doing what you're doing now. But now that you are, and you're doing these things, you're going to be more and more criticized because of it. And the criticism is actually working against you more and more each day, because you keep making yourself look guilty by going out there on TV and saying Obama this and Russia that and all this and that, rah, 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 you know, running your fucking mouth with nothing to offer anybody as proof of anything that you're saying is true, okay? People are going to just say, well, I didn't see it. It didn't happen. He's lying, okay? Where's the proof? There ain't no fucking proof. He's making it up. These people that he says has this and that, he's lying. These people probably don't even exist, okay? That's what he does. And he figures, well, that worked for me when I was running for president. Well, you just told MAGA you don't need them. You said they're weak. Now you want them to come to your aid in this time of crisis in your career. You want them to believe what you're saying. But you know what? You've already pissed on them. You pissed on them last week or the week before, telling these people, you know, to leave you alone about this Epstein stuff, okay? That you're weak and everything. I don't need you anymore. That's what he said. Now he needs you. He needs you to believe him now. And so, like I said, this is a guy, he's in trouble now, and he knows this. This is why he's looking so desperate about all the stuff he's been doing as in the last few days. And why Congress is all up, you know, going crazy right now. He's got, you know, his political pawns in Congress, you know, closing all the doors, basically, and drawing all the curtains. Well, they have these secret meetings here, and this conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell. That's all for a reason, people. It's not just we want to make sure we get our T's crossed and our I's dotted. No, we want to go in there with a gun to her head and say, you open your mouth and I pull the trigger. Okay, that's kind of what this is. All right, it's like what the mob does when they want to, you know, get information out of somebody. They find some back alley somewhere. They put them in an abandoned warehouse, tie him to a chair. They sit there and they beat him until he submits. Same thing, only this is on a different level. Okay, that's what this is going to be. They're going to scare the shit out of her. I don't know what they're going to do, what they're going to hold over her head, but it's going to be something, and she's probably just going to quiet up and not say a damn thing more about it. I don't know. In order for her to get out of prison. You know, if you want to be out of prison, then you keep your mouth shut. You know? I mean, that's really what this is all about, I think, at the end of the day, is just a shakedown. Because Trump is a wannabe mobster. Okay, he runs the government like he's a mob boss. His cabinet, his administration are his thugs, like in The Soprano. You got all these Sal and all them other people there. You know, that's how he's running things. It's odd. I mean, he's from New York, so maybe that, you know, maybe that's the way it is in that city. I don't know. When people that are in power, they I don't know. I'm trying not to generalize here, but anyway. But this is his mentality, okay? Which means, you know, he's a man of low character. He's white trash with a lot of money. If he didn't have the money, he'd be in prison already for some damn thing that he did to some little girl. Okay, probably spend the rest of his life in prison for the number of little girls that he molested. Christ, I mean, I wonder, you know, his Trump's niece, Mary Trump, who has a YouTube channel on here, by the way. She talks a lot about Trump, and she's totally against him. I wonder if she, in her time growing up in that family, if she ever saw Trump doing anything with any little kids while she was there. Maybe she did say something in a podcast. I don't know. But behavior like this goes back a long time. This just didn't happen when he met Jeffrey Epstein. He was already into this shit. That's how he met Jeffrey Epstein, was he was doing that stuff. Okay, so like I said, this could be like I said, legion of fucking victims out there who are sitting on, you know, very uncomfortable positions here of whether they should come out against Trump or not. You know, and like I said, you know, where's the Me Too movement here? You know, if there's any time we need to have the strength of the Me Too movement, it's now. I mean, we brought down Harvey Weinstein, and, you know, we went after Bill Cosby, and what's his name there? Shit, I can't think of it. That other actor there. I don't know. There was some other actors, okay, that they went after because of things like this, rape and stuff like that. They need to be out there now. This is the time, really. This Me Too movement thing shouldn't have stopped when it did. This has to continue to go on, because now we got a lot more people to go after here. We got this administration, and we need the numbers. We need the numbers of people out there to go after these people. And Trump has a lot of victims, and the Me Too movement needs to find these victims and encourage them to come out against Trump. So get out there, Me Too. Where are you? Okay, you didn't hold back a few years ago with these other people that you were really mad at. You need to get back together and start more of this, because it's, you know, we have another person that needs to see justice here. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm getting at, is, you know, we need to have legions of people out there for the legions of victims that are out there right now of Trump. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.